essentially the testimonial video is really just showing them, I'm not going to come in and sell you on PPC. I want you to see exactly what our current clients are getting, and that's going to show you exactly why you want to work with us.
Headed to the top, ain't none of y'all stopping me. Used to say I never get a ring, Charles Barkley. Now I got a wife, got kids, own property. Bubble-eyed beans that look like that be watching me. Okay, I lied about the beans, but that was hard though. I'm still in that black act, but she starred though. Cause that's all it takes. Don't flash it for. I'm on my grind, not no motherfucking fashion show.
What's up, y'all? AJ Simmons here, back with another great interview for you guys. Now, today's guest is kind of a unique one because we usually interview owners of cleaning companies, but today we're going to make an exception because this guy has a lot of value to offer in the sales department. So please welcome the business development manager of Picture Perfect Cleaning, Mr. Micahel. What's going on, Michael?
Hey, AJ, thanks a lot for having me on today. How are things going this morning?
It's going well. It's a little hectic right after a long weekend with our CBN conference we just hosted, but very good. Glad to be back in the office and it's going well. So if we could just start off with a little bit about yourself, what your position is with the company and what it all entails.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be more than happy to share that with you. So currently I sit in a role as the business development manager with Picture Perfect Cleaning. So I started with Picture Perfect about 5 years ago now, and I started as a sales manager. Quickly progressed. I moved into an operations manager role so that I could really understand that side of the business so that I could continue to grow into more of a substantial role in the sales side of Picture Perfect Cleaning. So through that progression, basically my primary role with Picture Perfect Cleaning is to I'm responsible for finding and developing the new business for Picture Perfect Cleaning. Primary role is to determine the needs of our potential clients with honesty and integrity and present Picture Perfect Cleaning services to the client that's going to best suit their needs.
Gotcha.
So along with this, I'm also responsible to determine the most efficient and accurate pricing for that customer to make sure that we can deliver that exceptional service that they want while maintaining operations within their budget.
Gotcha. So it's almost like, from what I hear, it sounds like you don't just provide a quote for these prospects. You're providing almost like a consultation to make sure you're the right fit and what's the best way that you guys can serve them, if you can serve them.
Yes, that's exactly it. I mean, my role, one of the big things that I need to do is with these potential leads, I need to identify what challenges they're having, and then I need to match that with what Picture Perfect Cleaning offers so that I can eliminate those challenges.
Gotcha. Perfect enough. Now, on my channel, we have a lot of brand new business owners. Some are a little bit newer, but the vast majority are the newer guys. So they struggle with closing deals, right? So could you kind of share some tips with us on what you think is the key to closing your deals?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the number one key to my success has been speed and ongoing engagement. So one of the company philosophies that we have is when a lead comes in, 1 minute that it hasn't been answered is 1 minute too long. And then what that will do is that carries through the entire sales process, and that sets up the client to understand exactly the service that they're going to get with Picture Perfect. So yes, I would say the ongoing engagement that I have with my potential clients is a key factor, but more importantly, I would say is speed of getting that proposal sent out, speed of following up with the proposal. Everything has to be done with speed, but we absolutely do not compromise our quality for that speed. Does that make sense?
Yep, makes perfect sense. And speaking of that, so now I saw on your LinkedIn, it says that you guys service 500 square feet buildings to 1 million square feet. So what I'm wondering is, and I get asked this a lot as well, is does your bidding process change on the very tiny ones like 500 square feet? versus the ones that are 1,000,000 square feet? Are you pricing them different? And then also, if so, at what point do you change that bidding process?
Yeah, no, that's a very good question, AJ. And I understand that in our industry, there are so many different pricing models. There's so many different companies out there that will walk into businesses and bid in a different way. One of the aspects that that Picture Perfect Cleaning prides themselves on is providing a very unique but customizable janitorial program for that company. So when I'm walking into a building that's 500 square feet or 5 million square feet, I can assure you that I'm going to treat that prospect in the exact same manner. Now, I'm going to be asking different questions in larger facilities. I want to understand occupancy rates. I want to understand foot traffic coming through there, because in those large buildings, that's going to substantially change what my price is going to be. So I would say that as I go into the bigger buildings, I'm going to ask more specific questions about peak periods, about everyday use, about weekend use, gain as much insight as I can. And then from there, that'll allow me to come back to my bidding software, which I need to be clear on. That software is used whether I'm bidding for 500 square feet or 1,000,000 square feet. Gotcha. Right? So this is where it comes in, is just like any business, the larger the facility, the lower our square foot cost is, bottom line.
Gotcha. So wait a minute, you say the larger the square feet, the lower
the cost per square foot.
The cost per square foot. Gotcha. Okay. Now, do you mind sharing which bidding software you use? I know I heard you mention it. Obviously, I recommend Calculated Clean, the app that I built, but what are you guys using, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, I mean, right now there's quite a few different bidding softwares out there. We have dabbled in Root is an amazing software that's out there right now. Ricardo and his team, amazing guys. So we're certainly following what they're doing. And we also utilize Clean Guru. So Clean Guru is kind of the one that I go to. But we're always looking at different software and opportunities that we can kind of improve our sales process as well. All
right, bam. So that's what I want to ask. All right. So do you keep an average ratio of the amount of deals that you close? For example, like, is it like for every 10 you want to close 4 or 6? And then like, what is a good ratio for you?
Yeah, that's another great question, AJ. With Picture Perfect Cleaning, typically our sales targets that we have set out for us is a closing ratio. So we don't look at a conversion. What we would look at is we want to see an average of 20 to 25% closing. So with that being said, to make things easy, if we're talking 10 proposals, I can expect to close at least 2.5 on every series of 10.
Doing the walkthrough, how should we be selling ourselves, right? Because sometimes, as newer people, will get in the walkthrough and you're kind of nervous, like you don't know when to insert little details about your company or if you even should. And so you're just kind of walking through with them, getting measurement. Then you're also trying to get your measurements, right? Well, so depending on if you take measurements, depending on how you do it. Yeah. So I'm trying to take measurements. I'm trying to conversate, but at the same time, it's like I can't converse with them because I'm too busy trying to measure. Then I'm trying to take up all their time because I feel like they're rushing me in some cases, right? So how do you actually sell during the walkthrough, or do you?
Yeah, no, and that's another great question, AJ, because what I like to do is I like to make sure that before I walk through the door, that prospect knows exactly who we are and what separates us from the competition. Okay. So initially, when I book a meeting, the first thing that I'm going to do after I talk to them is I'm going to send them an email with some of our amazing YouTube videos that we've put together. I'm going to send them a link to our website. I'm going to send them a testimonial from a couple of our amazing clients. And then the day that I am going to meet them, then I will then send another email with a very powerful testimonial video that speaks from all of our clients. So what that allows me to do is when I get there, I trust that they already understand that we are the superior cleaning company in Alberta. I reinforce that when I walk through the doors, because as I introduce myself and as I start to understand why they've called me in, that's my job to understand the challenges that they're having, and then using all of the material, all of the experience that Picture Perfect has, and I pick and choose what I'm going to throw at them to sell them on the challenges that they're having. I couldn't, if I went in there with a cookie cutter approach, I promise you my closing ratio would be sitting probably around a 10%, not above the 25 at 27%. So that individual approach and really letting them lead that conversation and guide me as to what they're looking for. And I will make sure to match exactly what they need with what we can provide.
Nice. I love it. So with that strong testimonial video, or with any of your testimonials, is there a system that you guys have in place to where you have some type of software automatically asking them to leave you reviews, or are you asking for reviews maybe like during your inspections when you go to check and visit the customer?
And so are you referring to like Google reviews?
Maybe Google reviews, because I don't know if that's what you're sending them, because you like, right? So in the sales process, you were saying how you can send them testimonials is what I mean. You send testimonials.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry, I misunderstood, AJ.
Yep. Actually, I asked it wrong. So
yeah. I mean, one of the aspects that, again, I like to say separates us is I try to avoid a lot of the automation in the sales process as much as I can, because I feel that individual approach. So I will personally type out an email that kind of recaps the conversation that I had with them. I always like to find something personal about them in the first 5 minutes that I'm talking to them so that I can lead in with that when I reach out. But essentially the testimonial video is really just showing them, I'm not going to come in and sell you on PPC. I want you to see exactly what our current clients are getting, and that's going to show you exactly why you want to work with us.
Gotcha. Now that testimonial video, did you ask your previous clients to make it for you, like just record something for you?
So that's something that our marketing team had put together. I believe Jared worked on that one.
Gotcha. Fair enough. All right. Now, I know that you said you kind of let the client lead during that walkthrough, and then you'll know exactly which things that you can sell about the company based on what they said. But are there any questions? So, and I know you said you don't do a cookie cutter thing, but are there any questions in particular that you're asking to try to nudge them into sharing more? Are there any go-to questions at all?
Yeah, I mean, one of my go-to questions all the time is, what made you visit Picture Perfect Cleaning's website to bring me in here? Something tells me whether it's your budget, whether it's the level of service you're getting, whether it's the professionalism that you're getting. There's a lot of different factors. So I want to understand why they have come to Picture Perfect Cleaning. So that is always going to be a question that I ask. Moving down the list, I do also ask every single time how frequent their cleaning is being done, what the scope of work is. And then in order for me to make sure that we are comparing, because AJ, you know as well as I do, apples to apples is a loose term in this industry. Because you've got 12 different companies going in there and saying, we're going to do this. And there's another company saying, we're going to do the complete opposite, but we're going to give you the same results. Right. So as a consumer, I can understand that is, that can be very challenging to filter through.
Definitely.
So for me, if I'm able to pull from them what their budget is, I'm going to be able to have a much better opportunity to provide them with a proposal that's going to match what they need. Right? Because I don't know if they're in the market for a Mercedes or a Kia. It's a much different world when you have a brand sitting on your front door, where we're in a different world. So it's a much different approach.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right. Now, I know, and I alluded to this earlier, but I want to really tackle it. I know a lot of people tell me that they feel rushed during the walkthroughs. Do you ever feel that way? And then if so, how do you handle that?
Absolutely. I do feel there's always times where I feel that people are rushing through the walkthroughs. That's where I take a minute to have a very professional conversation with them
Mhm.
and basically just tell them that I want to make sure that I take the time to fully understand exactly what they're looking for. So
Right.
although it may take a few more minutes than you had initially thought, I promise you that this attention to detail is exactly why you want to hire us. So
Mhm.
if you allow me the time to make sure that I get the proper measurements, that I get the proper information, that makes sure that we're all set up for success if we decide that we're going to enter into an agreement.
I'm telling you, that right there alone will make you. I mean, that right there alone, you saying it the way you just said it to me as a prospect would definitely stand out to me because it's like, wait, you slowed me down to control and showed me that you really care that much about the detail. So if you care that much on that walk, I can't imagine what you could do once you actually get in here to clean it. So love that answer, Michael. I appreciate that one.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it, AJ. Because you know what? If we're rushing through the walkthrough, I would guess that we might be rushing through the cleaning. So we absolutely do not rush through anything.
Absolutely. Now, after submitting that proposal, how soon are you following up with them?
Do you want the honest answer?
Sure.
5 seconds after I send it,
There you go.
I want to call that client just to confirm, or sorry, that prospect, just to confirm that they have it in their inbox.
There you go.
That just, again, it keeps that ongoing communication.
Gotcha. Now, is there like a time? So, all right, bam. So I'll tell you what I tell people to do, and I'll see how close I am to your process.
Yeah.
So what I tell them to do is exactly what you just said is the first step, right? So I'll say, for follow up immediately that same day after you send it and say, I just want to make sure you got it, right? Then after that, I would say, now, before you get off the phone, ask them, since they are probably not ready then to tell you if they're ready to move forward or not. Every now and then you get lucky, but most of the time they're not ready just then. So
Yeah.
I'll say, all right, well, ask them when would be a good time for me to follow up with you just to check on you. A lot of times they'll say, I'll get back to you. But most of the time you want to try to get them to say a time and then you call them during that time. That way you don't have to guess. But if they say, I'll get back to you, then you just have to guess it, right? So where are you on that process there? Am I close?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's exactly it. Like I feel that initial, or the following up after you've sent that proposal, I don't specifically ask them in that first email when they're going to make a decision, because I am a firm believer that if they see, they met me at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, now they've got a proposal at 3 o'clock, and at 3:15 I've called them to say, hey, did you receive that proposal? That's going to show them how engaged I am. And 9 out of 10 times, AJ, that phone call, I will get a guideline as to where they're at for a decision making. So, thank you. We're going to be looking at making a decision at the end of May, maybe follow up with me middle May. So that just, again, with that dialogue, it allows me an indirect understanding of where they're at in their decision-making process.
Perfect. You just said something that's key too, that helped me a lot with my beginner people as well. So I want to ask you this. On average, if you just had to guess, if you don't know it, like mathematically, but just if you had to guess, about how long is the sales process? So from the time that, not even from the very beginning, but just from the walkthrough to the time you actually close the deal and y'all start cleaning, about how long is that whole process there?
Yeah, you know what, AJ, that's a hard one to answer, because we have some prospects that come to us that need a turnaround in a week. And then we've also got some very big bidding processes that, the tender process can go for upwards of 3 months. On average, I would like, when something hits my pipeline, I would like to have a decision in 30 days. Now, obviously, that is not always going to work. Right. I get some that are quicker, some that are longer, but 30 days is a good average that I like to have.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Appreciate that. Now, you said the pipeline, so I got to touch that because I didn't have this in my questions either. CRM programs, are you using them? And then if so, any that you recommend?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I find that the CRM market right now is very, very flooded. But there's a few that are, in my opinion, kind of above and beyond what your typical CRM is. So we recently started using HubSpot. And I have to tell you, AJ, typically I don't promote products like that, but it is absolutely amazing the back end work that we've been able to customize in that program to make things, to make sure that our sales team is following that process from A to Z every single time with no room for error. That in itself is what I think is the most powerful aspect of the CRM that we're using right now.
Gotcha. And I always tell people too, even if nothing else, because some people just really don't want to take the time to learn a CRM, but I always tell them just at least, connect it to your email and use it that way. Because if nothing else, at least you can see if your proposal was open and when to call them, right? So if nothing else, you got that. Absolutely.
Well, and for me, AJ, one of the aspects that is a little unique for me is I'm hard of hearing. So I wear hearing aids. And one of the things that I absolutely love about HubSpot is it will record all of the calls that I have with people so that if I ever need to go back and review a transcript to make sure, the reality is, AJ, when you don't have proper hearing, you miss an and a but from time to time.
Right.
So one of the added tools that I have in my arsenal to make sure that I'm successful is I transcript a lot of my conversations, and HubSpot does that for me. So I have it all there before I call a prospect. I can go through, see exactly what we've talked about. I don't have to go to 18 different spots. It's all right there. Information I need.
I love that. And you know what? I just want to hit on that too real quick for my audience here. One of the most important, if not the most important of the sales process to me is listening. If my guy Michael here can listen and he has a hearing disadvantage, there's no way, you know what I mean? There's no way you shouldn't be out here closing deals too. Let me just say that.
Absolutely. And I appreciate that, AJ. And that's why this industry is perfect, because at the end of the day, you can talk a talk when it comes to janitorial, but it's really sight and smell that's going to tell you whether something is clean. So if any of my senses need to work, it's my sight and my smell when I'm in a site. That's why I record that's why I record my walkthroughs. If there's any information that I may need to go back to, I've done my due diligence to make sure that I've got that readily available. But from a prospect standpoint, I am very clear with them up front that I wear hearing aids, that I have limited hearing. I can still hear, but limited. But fortunately for them, at the end of the day, what defines clean is how it looks and how it smells. I have great smelling and I have great hearing. Right. It's amazing what happens to your senses when you lose one, AJ, because the other ones become very heightened. So my attention to smell, my sight is by far above what your average sales guy is going to have.
Absolutely. I love that, man. Because that's even another example too of like no excuses, right? Like even if you feel like you have a disadvantage, well, you got to find a way to flip that into an advantage. And so yours is, well, you know what? I might not have this all the way, but I can see very well and I can smell very well, right? So I love that how you flip that like that.
Absolutely. And I've got two kids that rely on me, so there is no way that I'm going to be letting any of this slow me down. And fortunately, I've come across amazing people I recently lost my hearing about 2 years ago. And between the prospects I've met, the clients we have, the leaders that I have, I am amazed at how supportive society is. I have to say.
I love that. I love that, man. All right, let's see here. I want to see if I want to go into how many more technical questions I want to give you before we get laid back a little bit. I got a couple for the audience. All right, bam. So do you still go door to door, or is it all handling inbound leads and you're at the position that you're in now?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, if I hope that no business development manager is sitting back waiting for leads to come to them. I mean,
Okay.
my role, yes, of course, I'm taking inbound, but ultimately my role is to create and develop new business for Picture Perfect Cleaning. So I can't do that by sitting watching an inbox. So
Right.
I use lots of different, I mean, AJ, we use everything from outsourced cold calling services. One of the aspects that I absolutely love is going to knock on neighboring businesses. So if I'm in the area going to see a current client, if I'm in the area going to see one of our operations managers, that's an awesome opportunity for me to walk through 10 different businesses. And this is no longer a cold because they know the business that I'm pushing that we're already cleaning. So I do business door to door for sure. I personally do my own cold calling. We outsource cold calling. And then the other thing is referrals. I mean, if as a janitorial business, if you're not driving the customers that already have amazing things to say about you, if they're not sharing that with the world, you need to promote, you need to push them to do that, because that in itself is going to bring you tons of business that you don't have to go out and get. It's
Right.
just natural because we do such a great job. That's going to come back to us.
Absolutely. You know what? I forget where you guys were in revenue when I spoke to Jay. Was it 3 million? I forget.
Yeah. So right now we're at 3.3 million, I believe, in sales.
There you go. And the reason I bring it up is because even at that level, you guys are still going door to door. You're still, cold calling on the phone. You're still buying leads. You have SEO working. You have referrals.
Yep.
Right. Amongst other things. You know what I mean? So my point is to my audience here is you got, if a $3 million company can do it, what makes you think at $3,000 a month, you don't have the time to get out here and knock on doors and cold call, right? So just to put that out there, some motivation to get out and to let you guys know, you got to take the action. You cannot wait around for these lead companies to send you some good quality stuff. You just got to do it all. You got to put that work in, y'all. So, all right, now, okay, this is a good one. So do you ask them what their budget is during the walkthrough, or if they care to share what they paid to the previous company?
Yeah, I mean, the short answer to that, AJ, is yes. I always want to find that information out. Yep. Because again, understanding if I'm comparing apples to apples is going to be, that's really important for me. So when I go in, if I can get information and I know I'm repeating myself, but yep, if I can get the information that everything from frequency, scope of work, budget, that will allow me to go back and really customize a program that's going to match their needs. So right, one of the ways that I like to work around that, because I know most people, when you come out and say budget, they immediately get very defensive. They think that you're trying to get that information so that you can use that to your advantage. Well, the reality is, much like I said before, I just want to identify what brand I need to sell them, if that makes any sense. So yep, if they're looking at, a 7-day-a-week service, it's a 50,000 square foot facility, and, they give me a budget of, I'm just pulling this out, but $4,000. Mm-hmm. I'm going to shake my head and say, that isn't going to happen. Right. I can do 1 day a week at that. So that budget, it's not so much to give me an advantage, but it's so that I can understand where they're at and then what I can do to fit that into our program. Gotcha.
Now, I want to get a little bit selfish here and ask a question for myself, right? Because I'm getting into the space where I need to hire, some more people, right? I need some managers in particular. Yeah. So what makes a guy like Michael stay with companies? What do you look for in the company to make you want to, that'll attract you to it anyway? And then what makes you stay with that company?
I know the standard answer to this is money, 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 but the reality is when it comes to the role that I'm in, one of the reasons why I've stuck around so long is the culture that our company has. When you speak to our CEO and when you speak to one of our custodians, all of us speak with the same passion and enthusiasm about this industry. So that culture alone breeds that mentality. I want to come to work. I want to do my best. The other aspect that's kept me hanging around is the fact that I've got leaders that they don't talk the talk, they walk the walk. I have personally been cleaning toilets beside my CEO. I have been, washing floors with my COO. To see them work beside us, but also have that ability and insight to lead us is invaluable. So the short answer is it's the people that have kept me where I am.
Gotcha. Fair enough. All right. So
treat your people right, AJ.
That's the key. I'm telling you, that is the key for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Our culture, AJ, I can tell you, PPC culture, you will not find in any other janitorial company in Alberta. I promise you that.
I can listen. If I'm honest, from when I spoke to Jared, I can tell he just has it. Like he's a good person, and you have to be a good person in order to be a good leader. If I'm honest, as I'm speaking with you, I can feel your vibe through the computer from talking to you from so far. Even through our email communications, it was just, I felt a sense of I can't even describe it, but either way, I can tell that you have good energy as well. So I know exactly what you mean.
Well, and you can edit this one out, but I can tell you that Jared Sarbit is probably about 80% of the reason why I've stuck to where I am. He 100%. Is passionate, knowledgeable, and AJ, I live with, having hard of hearing, to have a leader that will truly stand behind what you're going through and not talk the talk, but really walk the walk.
Yeah.
I will work my heart off for Jared till the day I can't anymore, if that makes sense.
Hell yeah, I love it. By the way, we might not edit that out as good unless you want me to.
Yeah, I know. You do your thing, AJ.
Okay, cool.
You do your thing.
All right. We've got enough knowledge from you. I want to, let you have some fun here now. So we're gonna jump into the lightning round, and I'm gonna say a word or a phrase. You just tell me the first thing that comes to mind for you. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. First thing is picture perfect cleaning.
Outstanding service.
Nice. All right. Next is sales.
Follow up and ongoing engagement.
Very nice. All right. Tony Robbins. That was random.
No comment.
That was random. All right. So I'll tell you why I put that in there. As I was researching for this interview, I was like really stalking your LinkedIn since I don't know enough about you yet. And I saw that it said that you liked him. And I was thinking to myself, I said, well, that really doesn't mean anything because there's a lot of people that it says I like on LinkedIn, but that was probably from like a decade or so ago. And I probably don't even follow these people now. So that was probably what happened there.
I like, between you and I, AJ, I like to follow like-minded people. I also like to follow people that don't share the same opinion as me.
Yes.
It allows me to have an open mind in the world.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Jared Sarbit.
Very, very supportive and extremely intelligent.
Nice. Facebook or LinkedIn?
Social media is going to be the death of me. Okay, let's edit that one out. I'm going to give you another answer.
Okay. All right.
So
go ahead.
You go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say it again. Facebook or LinkedIn?
Another opportunity to engage.
Fair enough. I like the first answer better, right?
Hey, you know what? Again, AJ, you put in what you want. Whatever I'm saying is on the record. So.
Absolutely. That's how I move too. Hey, take it how you. All right. Favorite hobby?
Snowboarding.
Cool. All right. I've never done it. So hopefully if I come up to Canada, you guys can show me how to do it because I've never even touched a snowboard in my life.
It's chilly, AJ. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. That'll be the hard part for me is the cold, right? All right. Fair enough. Key to closing deals. You already said it, but
follow up.
Yeah. All right. A favorite movie?
Can you give me a second there?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? Shawshank Redemption.
Nice. All right. Favorite book?
You know what? This one's a little bit, I read it quite a while ago, but The Pelican Brief by John Grisham.
Okay. What you mind sharing a little bit? Like, what is that one about?
You know what? Let's do a business. Let's roll back. I'm going to do a business book. Does that work?
Okay. Yep. Either, I mean, that was fine, but I'm just wondering, like, just see if I want to read it or not.
Yeah, no, this one's going to be more tailored towards our audience. So absolutely. So there's an amazing book that Jared actually shared with all of our managers, and it's called The Dream Manager. And the reason why I absolutely love that book is it's specifically written by for the janitorial industry. Okay. And it is it's the company, they're called Admiral Cleaning.
Okay.
And what it does is it really puts emphasis on how important it is to treat your people right. So echoing why I'm still with that company, that book, we did an exercise as a team and read that book together and did essentially a book report on it together. And I can tell you that left lasting impressions on all of our team.
Nice. I love it. All right. Last one that I always ask everybody, favorite music genre.
You know what? If you asked me when I was 18, I would have told you that it was definitely hip hop.
Okay.
And as I move into my older days, still enjoy hip hop, but I like to listen to jazz from time to time now too.
Nice. Well, since you mentioned hip hop, I still got to get it. Top 5 rappers of all time for you.
We talking like East Coast, West Coast, or can I just blend them all together?
Blend it all.
All right. Definitely go with Tribe Called Quest as being number 1.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe you've heard of them, Eric B. and Rakim.
Absolutely.
School, but same with the Far Side.
Yeah. Okay.
3 done. Yeah. Then I'll roll with NWA as number 4.
Gotcha.
And then just to feed off that, Easy is always, I mean, I love his work outside of NWA, so I have to give him a call out as well.
That's nice. I love it. And see, even though I wasn't around for most of those, but the video games, man, they keep them alive. And so I know I got at least a favorite song from every single one of those artists. I love it. All right, man. So it was fun. What you got?
I was just going to say the one repeat album I have Tribe Called Quest going all day long on my phone.
Absolutely. I love it, man. So, hey, Michael, I appreciate you so much for taking the time out with me. I'm glad I made it, right? Because I was rushing into the office, but I'm glad I made it. I was able to get you on. You shared nothing but gems. I wish we could have really dove a little bit more to the personal side and got to know you a little better, but I wanted to make sure that the audience, got what they came for. So, but I really appreciate you for coming out, and I thank you again, man.
Absolutely. And AJ, I do want to thank you as well for taking time. And I am more than excited to start to share my journey. So by all means, please follow my LinkedIn. You can do www.pictureperfectcleaning.ca. We post all of our blogs there. We have lots of helpful information for other potential business owners. So definitely check out the website. And LinkedIn, Facebook, that's the best place to keep in touch with me.
Thank you for watching my video, and make sure you hit that like button if you liked the video, because I know you did, and also hit subscribe, and right beside that subscribe button is going to be a notification bell. You gotta click that, because guess what? You never know when I'm gonna go live. As a matter of fact, I might go live right now, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss my videos, all right? And if you want to start or grow your business, check out cleanbiznetwork.com, all right? We have cleaning business starter kits. We have a lead generation service to help you grow your cleaning business, all type of stuff. And also don't forget to download the Calculated Clean mobile app as well, all right? So that's what I got for y'all until you click another video and go watch, man. Watch another video, why not? Binge on it.